Call the meeting to order.
Okay, we'll call meeting or accounting COW 12-2024 to order at 7:01. And adoption of the agenda. Everybody in favor of adopting the agenda?
We have a motion?
No.
Yeah, okay.
Just one name or
Interest. Should be Counselor absences, we have
Councillor Son and Councillor
That's
Jones.
Jameson, yeah.
I've been informed that condolences are made, or Moses' father passed away,
Oh,
so
has he left the country?
Yeah,
he's not.
flying over Syria the other night, Sean told me. He's at the dentist's office.
Oh.
Okay, Counselor absences. Now, the RCMP report.
Do we have a report in here? No.
I'm not sure how the council wants to receive the report. It's been different in each community that I've been to. Our APP is pretty, I'm sure you guys are familiar with the APP. If you want me to go through the APP, I can go through the APP. Mostly what I've reported on is just what involvement we've had, any significant files, that any notable occurrences for the month. And the stats speak for themselves, and I typically don't go over the stats too much. Members have been involved in the community throughout the month with regards to Matt being involved with the Matt Check Stop, partnering with Matt at the beginning of the month. We participated in going to the elementary school for Remembrance Day ceremony. We participated in the Remembrance Day ceremony that was taking place at the rec center. Frequent school visits are being done throughout the month. Members attended the National Child's Day at the rec center. Members are doing a good job with trying to be involved in the community. There's coaching of youth hockey that's happening 4 days a week from a member at the detachments. They also participate in the community bazaar. During the previous month, we had an occurrence involving there was an incident that happened at the Great Slave Helicopter where someone had tried to get on a chartered helicopter flight, which person was not from the community, which raised suspicion to the people that were on the helicopter. They actually came to my house to report it. So when they stopped in, told me kind of what had happened. Thankfully, they had given me enough information that I was able to investigate a mischief complaint, where I was able to get the person's name, and as a result of going into that investigation, I was able to find some unknown substances on them, which I believe to be drugs. So they were arrested and dealt with and remanded out of the community for a later court date. The good thing is that it was one of the good things is that the community members that came forward was able to provide me with enough information so that I could actually try and do some kind of an investigation. I'm sure as everyone here is aware, the Charter of Rights protects everyone in Canada from unreasonable search and seizure and arbitrary detention. And when there's not enough evidence, there's not enough information given to us, it really ties our hands. Fortunately, in this situation, we were given enough information where I was able to lawfully engage in an investigation, lawfully collect information a name from the person. That person also ended up having 2 government issued IDs with different names on the IDs with the same photograph, which that was investigated as well. So we were fortunate enough to get, it wasn't a substantial amount of product off the streets, but at least it provided a kink into what's going on, and we were able to let people know that we're aware of what a little bit less than what the previous month was. And I think Wrigley calls for service ended up going up a little bit more. We responded to 109 calls for service for all the communities. Aside from that, I'm open to questions about anything relating to the RCMP that you have.
I guess I have a question. Just, I know you guys are probably busy more with like the drugs side of people using in the community, but I'm really concerned with the number of people staggering down the streets and our children visibly seeing that. I had some people approach me and say that they were not able to go to the Unity store because of the people sitting outside of the shelter drinking. So I'm just wondering if you guys can be maybe speaking more to anybody that is staggering down the street and being drunk in a public place, and taking more action towards people that are, just so for me, it's my children and everybody else's children that should not have to walk down the street and see that on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's definitely something that we can pay attention to. Obviously, we walk a fine line when we're starting to take people's freedom away from them by putting them in a jail cell because of how it looks in town. We have to identify if it's a public safety issue or if it's a safety concern for that person. So those are the lines that we are walking on when we're dealing with those types of things. So obviously it's not an ideal thing to see people out staggering in public or being intoxicated, but we have to be careful how we're trailing with that when it comes to putting people in cells. We have to make sure that we're abiding by the criminal code and the Control Act, especially when it comes to taking their freedom away.
And I'm thinking, Adam, Shanna, I'm just thinking maybe it's not about putting them in cells, but rather being proactive and just having those, I guess it's about building relationships, right? So if your officers are seeing someone staggering down the road, just a simple conversation, or maybe seeing where they need to get to, or maybe not just being so public about it.
I think one of the things that I've noticed is that we're trying to make sure we relocate people as frequently as we can, and then what ends up happening is they get relocated and then they move away, and then we relocate them again, and then they move away, and then it gets to a point where it comes to preventing further offenses from happening, but also to their safety if they're not following, they're not staying inside, and then they're ending up outside. And so it's something I can pass on and relate to the members to make sure they're keeping a better eye on that and trying and curb what you're seeing.
And I have one more thing, and maybe this is just for more knowledge for people, is that our legal system doesn't always work the way we want it to work, and the police will lay the charges, but I sit in court and all of our drug charges, I think, have all went away except for one. And there's a reason for those things, but that's not the RCMP's fault. They do their job, they do their due diligence, but when we go to court, it's up to the Crown. And so with the information that they have and going forward. So just so that people are very aware that we've had lots of charges for certain people in our community as of recent, but we just went to court and those things most of those things, except for one, I think, have actually progressed to the next thing. So it's still out there. It's still a huge problem. It's not lack of their trying, but rather than the legal system that maybe isn't the greatest.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
You guys out there, like, more than normal, or more than I'd normally seen it, so it's excellent seeing you out,
Yeah, definitely trying to get out. It's trying to remember that sometimes we have to leave our desks to get out, and of course they always say it's 10 minutes of fun and 2 hours of paperwork. So it's trying to remember that we have to get out, get away from our desks, and a lot of people are happy to get out of the office to get out there. So I definitely want to be seen in the community, and I definitely want members to be seen. So if there's anything that you guys are noticing, I mean, people are always welcome to come to the office and have a chat with me, and I'm willing to listen to hear what I can do or what we can do to improve or make things better.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a good meeting.
Have a good Christmas season.
Yeah.
Quiet Christmas season.
Oh, don't jinx it.
Watch it.
Okay, the 2025 budget estimate operations.
Thank you, worship. The last two budget estimates. Start off with the base assumptions. We have made some cuts. No rate increased down to 2% from 5%.
I like that.
Pardon?
I said I like that.
Actually, I'd like to see no increase.
Well, good luck.
Well, we can do that,
Okay.
right? We're the council that says we can do that.
Water rates,
If you can balance the budget.
I think we can.
the residential water rate reduced 25 cents down to 4.25. The commercial rate, we've kept the same, so we're in the ballpark. of 6 and a quarter percent increase in those rates. And those rates,
Are you on page 1?
actually, it's the very last
Yeah.
page.
Okay.
Let's go to the last page.
It's just a little page with. And garbage rates, each are only going up $5 a month. We rolled those back as well. So those are the assumptions. Go to page 1 of the budget. Consolidated estimates. Our total budget is $6,732,000, and that compares with last year's budget of $6,722,000. It's a 0.14% increase over last year. Highlighted on the right, those departments will make cuts and or to put an increase in. And much of the numbers are consistent with what you received in draft 1. Specific line items have been reduced as identified in the departments. So open it up for questions and for discussion.
I have a some things to discuss, but I think it needs to go in camera.
Okay. We can certainly defer that to our in-camera.
We still have that $300,000 cement.
That's
not in
capital,
this.
that's not this.
That's not in
That's
this.
not
That
No.
doesn't form part of these.
Oh, this
estimates.
is just the operations.
This is O&M. Capital budget's different. And you can't take from capital to put it back into O&M.
Anyway, I guess the big question is, what's your comfort level on the increases? Or no comfort level?
No comfort level.
No, so. Just, I'm sure you're all aware of the discussions Yellowknife are having with respect to their mill rates. And so we're not the only municipality.
Yellowknife has a brand new pool. What else they have? Seed logs up, going up in Yellowknife. But they raised theirs last year tremendously, if I remember.
Depending on the consensus here tonight, if we have consensus, then we will operate, I mean, nothing's going to change operationally between now and January. And then with what council would give consideration to a motion to adopt. So,
I have a savings that I'd like to talk about, but it has to be talked about in camera.
okay.
I see a savings that I would like to discuss with council.
Certainly.
Some wiggle room there, a little bit.
Yeah.
Right, so.
Is it filter through all departments or one department in particular?
It could spread out through different departments.
So this budget's balanced with that increase, with the 2%, right?
Yes.
So if council refused to do an increase, we can't submit it as a balanced budget, right?
Go back to the table.
Yes.
And grab three.
Yes. I'm just asking the question because I don't think the government accepts unbalanced budgets.
You mean a zero balance budget?
It's gotta be a balanced budget. They have,
Oh, yeah, this is like, this is zero.
this is zero because we've increased
Yeah.
based on the 2%, right?
And if I may, from a staff perspective, I think there've been a number of years where nothing has been increased with respect to rates and fees and no rates. And I think it's financially sound to start that process, in my opinion.
So we go in camera?
Well, yeah, I guess.
Well, did you, we can't hear you too.
Oh.
Go on.
Shall we go in camera? Is there any more discussion?
So
on
this one, we're gonna take, finalize or vote on it in our regular meeting? So this is just a discussion purposes, right? Okay,
And, you know, the elements that are part of the camera, that can help you make your decision. Again, we're not making motions here, other than motions to go in camera. But through that discussion, if there's consensus, then we'll know what we have to work with and what we'll present to council in January, so. Would you like to open that motion up for going in camera?
Okay,
You guys haven't signed any, please.
Yeah.
Seconder.
motion to move in camera. Can I get a mover? Counselor Sullivan.
What?
Seconder.
she did. So the video is off?
You get a motion, this motion carries.
Okay, all in favor?
And at 7:23, 23, isn't it? Or 33, 23.
Motion carries.
Motion carried.
Okay.
Do we have to close the door?